To actually build our website, we are going to be using a website builder called WordPress. And in this video, I want to explain briefly why we're going to be using WordPress before we jump in to the actual steps. And I also want to explain why we're going to be using WordPress over other options out there like Wix, Weebly, Squarespace, etc. You might have seen some of these other website builders out there. Well, I think the most important reason to use WordPress is because it is the most popular website builder or content management system, as it's also known. So 29% of the web uses WordPress. Like, this is insane. From hobby blogs to biggest sites to the biggest news sites online. So you can see some of them here: Vogue magazine, Bloomberg, Beyonce, Jay-Z. Like, a lot of people use WordPress. So it is by far and away the most popular option. Now, Wix, Weebly, Squarespace, even combined, all of them are less than 1% of the websites out there. So if you're picking a platform to learn and to understand, I think it's much more valuable to learn WordPress because there's much more demand in terms of businesses and clients for people with WordPress skills. And personally, I think that's a great reason to learn how to use WordPress. Now, another great thing about WordPress is that it's open source software. So nobody actually owns WordPress. It's actually free software. Now, in order to get our site up with our own domain, we do have to pay for hosting. So it's not like it's free to have a branded WordPress site. But what is interesting and what I like about this open source software aspect is that they can never just raise the prices on you. On Wix, for example, you're kind of bought into their whole platform. If they raise the prices, well, then you can't really just easily move your site somewhere else. On WordPress, if your hosting company, which is who you pay to keep the site up, if they actually increase the prices, well, then you can just move to another hosting company. So I really like that aspect, that it's open source, and it gives me a sense of security. If I'm investing time building a site, that I know that for the long term, it's always going to be there, and they're never going to increase the prices without me having an option to switch. So I really like that about WordPress as well. Now, the final thing about WordPress, which I think is a great reason to use it, is that they have a massive theme and plugin ecosystem. So themes are essentially skins that you put on top of WordPress, and it can completely change the look and feel of your site. And there are roughly 10,000 WordPress themes out there. And that means that you've 10,000 options to change your site. For some companies like Wix, they maybe have a couple of hundred. So there's just much more options for WordPress. Similarly, they have what's called a plugin ecosystem. And this allows you to add additional functionality to your site. There's over 50,000 plugins. And these are just little pieces of functionality that you can add to your site very, very easily. You just install them, and essentially you can automatically add that functionality in. And so it's great to have so many options to add this all in, which you wouldn't have with another website builder like Wix or Weebly, etc. They're just not capable of creating all of this extra software, because all of this extra software is created by independent companies. And that's the beauty of really that open source aspect of WordPress. So to sum up then, why use WordPress over some other website builders? Well, number one, 29% of the internet uses it. So you're building skills that are much more valuable in the marketplace. Two, it's open source, which means you're always protected in terms of a company shutting down or price changes. And number three, then there is a huge theme and plugin ecosystem, which really allows you to change the look and functionality of your site very, very easily.